Motherhood Dreams and Defying Gravity: What I Learned from Lily Buie. The first time I heard Lily Buie speak about balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship, I witnessed something extraordinary. There was this collective exhale in the room, as if every woman present suddenly felt permission to acknowledge both their dreams and their reality. Lily isn't just an expert on motherhood and business. She's a revolutionary force reshaping how we think about women's potential. Her work has touched thousands of lives, creating ripples of possibility in communities where women have long been told to choose between family and ambition. Her insights don't just inspire, they liberate. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Lily, and what she shared transformed my understanding of the intersection between motherhood, ambition, and perseverance. Today, I want to share what I learned from her: wisdom that speaks directly to the heart of what matters most. That softness isn't weakness, but a revolutionary form of strength. When we talk about pursuing dreams despite circumstances, we often picture the lone entrepreneur burning midnight oil. But what about when those midnight hours are already claimed by feeding babies? What about when your workspace doubles as a homeschool classroom by day? This is where Lily's first truth hits hardest. You can pursue your dreams no matter your circumstances, even as a mother of eight. Let that sink in for a moment. A mother of eight. Most of us struggle to find time for ourselves with far fewer responsibilities. Yet across America, women like Lisa Bass are redefining what's possible. Lisa's story, which Lily shared with me, is nothing short of revolutionary. With 8 children under her roof, Lisa built Simple Farmhouse Life, not just a blog, but a thriving business empire spanning podcasts, courses, and sponsorships. She didn't wait until her children were grown. She didn't postpone her dreams until some mythical perfect time. Instead, she worked during nap times. She recorded content while homeschooling. She batched tasks around her children's schedules. I remember laughing when Lily told me how Lisa once recorded a podcast episode with a baby on her lap and a toddler building a fort under her desk. That's not failure, that's innovation. That's refusing to accept the narrative that says motherhood and ambition can't coexist in the same space. What strikes me most about Lisa's journey isn't just what she accomplished, it's how she redefined success itself. In a culture that often forces women to choose between ambition and motherhood, Lisa refused the false dichotomy. She built a business that supported her family financially while allowing her to remain present in their lives. This isn't about superhuman abilities. It's about rejecting the narrative that says mothers, especially mothers with large families, must put their dreams on indefinite hold. But let's be honest, the path Lisa walked wasn't lined with cheerleaders and confetti. Which brings me to Lily's second truth: facing your fears is essential for personal and professional growth. Fear is the uninvited guest that shows up the moment we consider stepping outside our comfort zones. For Adriana Abbott, that fear had a specific shape. After years at Estee Lauder companies, Adriana faced a crossroads familiar to many women in corporate America: stay in the known but limited space, or leap into the unknown with unlimited potential. When her young daughters began playing with makeup products not designed for children, Adriana saw both a problem and an opportunity. But founding Lily Pop, a clean play makeup line, meant navigating territory she had never charted before: packaging, manufacturing, supply chains, all while caring for young children, all while being the sole founder without a roadmap. Lily shared how Adriana described that first manufacturing meeting. I walked in pretending I knew what I was talking about while my stomach was doing somersaults. I kept thinking someone would stand up and say, "You don't belong here." But nobody did. So I kept talking, kept asking questions, kept moving forward despite the fear. What moved me about Adriana's story wasn't just her success, but her willingness to be uncomfortable, to learn new skills, to stand alone in rooms where she was the only one who looked like her, to face the fear of failure with two young daughters watching her every move. Fear told Adriana to wait for someone else to solve the problem. Fear told her she didn't have the right experience. Fear told her the beauty industry was already crowded. But Adriana understood something profound. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a compass pointing toward growth. She didn't eliminate fear, she walked with it, she learned from it, she used it as fuel rather than allowing it to become a barrier. And in doing so, she created something beautiful, not just a product line, but a legacy of courage for her daughters to witness. This brings us to perhaps the most crucial lesson from my conversation with Lily. Perseverance, never giving up, can lead to owning and running a successful business. The entrepreneurial journey isn't a sprint, it's not even a marathon. It's more like raising a child. A series of sleepless nights, unexpected challenges, moments of pure joy, and long stretches where progress seems imperceptible until suddenly you look up and realize how far you've come. Jammerel Stewart embodies this truth. As a homeschool mom of 9 children, Jammerel built Large Family Table into an educational resource hub that provides sustainable income for her family. For over a decade, she's maintained this business while remaining the primary caregiver and educator for her children. What began as sharing survival strategies during financially tight times evolved into courses, books, and digital guides that reached thousands worldwide. But this evolution wasn't overnight. It was built in the margins. 5 minutes here, 30 minutes there. It was built through seasons of exhaustion, through days when giving up seemed like the only sensible option. Lily told me about the time Jamero was ready to quit. 3 children were sick, her website crashed, and a major partnership fell through all in the same week. She closed her laptop and decided it was over. But the next morning, she received an email from a mother who said, "Your recipe saved our family dinner time. My kids are eating together again because of you." That single email was enough to make her open her laptop again. The power in Jane Morrill's story isn't that she never wanted to quit, it's that she didn't quit even when she wanted to. In a culture obsessed with overnight success, we rarely celebrate the quiet perseverance that actually builds businesses. The showing up day after day, the pivoting when strategies fail, the continuing when motivation wanes. As I reflect on these stories Lily shared with me, I'm struck by a common thread. None of these women succeeded because circumstances were ideal. They succeeded because they refused to let circumstances dictate their possibilities. Lisa Bass didn't wait until her children were older to pursue her passion. Adriana Abbott didn't wait until she had manufacturing experience to launch Lily Pop. Jamariel Stewart didn't wait until life was less chaotic to build Large Family Table. They started where they were with what they had. They embraced imperfection. They rejected the myth that motherhood and entrepreneurship exist in opposition to each other. And perhaps most importantly, they understood that their dreams weren't selfish indulgences. They were essential expressions of their full humanity. They were modeling for their children what it means to honor your gifts while honoring your responsibilities. For too long, women have been told that our strength lies in our capacity to endure hardships silently, to carry impossible loads without complaint, to postpone joy and self fulfillment until everyone else's needs are met. But what if our greatest strength lies in our refusal to be defined solely by what we can endure? What if it lies in our audacity to thrive, not just survive? The women in these stories aren't exceptional because they did the impossible. They're exceptional because they redefined what's possible. They showed us that motherhood, even motherhood with many children, doesn't have to mean the death of dreams. It can be the birth of new ones. They showed us that fear isn't the enemy of progress, it's often the precursor to it. That the moments when we're most afraid are precisely the moments when transformation becomes possible. And they showed us that perseverance isn't glamorous. It doesn't make headlines, but it makes history in our families, in our communities, and in our own lives. So here's my challenge to you: reject the lie that says you must choose between your responsibilities and your dreams. Refuse to postpone your life until some mythical, perfect time. Start where you are with what you have, even if that means working in 5-minute increments between diaper changes or client calls. Your circumstances don't define your capacity for greatness. Your fears don't disqualify you from success. And your willingness to persevere, to get up one more time than you fall, might just be the most powerful force in the universe. The world doesn't need more women who shrink themselves to fit into spaces too small for their dreams. It needs women who dare to expand those spaces, who create new possibilities, not just for themselves, but for every woman watching and wondering if she too can defy gravity. Because when one woman rises, she creates atmospheric pressure that makes it easier for others to rise too. And in a world that often feels determined to keep us grounded, that act of collective ascension isn't just revolutionary, it's necessary. So take that first step today, not when you're ready, because ready is a myth, not when it's convenient, because it never will be, but now in this imperfect moment with your imperfect resources and your imperfect plan. The greatest tragedy isn't failing at your dreams. It's never having the courage to pursue them at all.